Can you all remain standing for a moment of silent prayer and meditation? Thank you very much. You may all be seated. Good morning, colleagues, honorable members. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our honorable Premier. Premier, I see you are wearing a very nice bib. If it was not those words, I was going to request that we should not allow it in the house because it has not been approved. But because it's Women's Month, and our theme is about, we are against gender-based violence, so I will allow that for today. Thank you. And I'm sure we're all gender-based activists because our country, our world is being confronted by GBV. Thank you very much. Let me also acknowledge all members of the Executive Council, the Deputy Chief Whip, the Chief Whip, leaders of political parties, members of the provincial legislature. I see my honorable friend there, Honorable Malima. How are you this morning? No, thank you very much. You are all welcome. And let me also acknowledge citizens of Gauteng, especially those that are watching our sitting virtually. And let me acknowledge members of the media. You are all welcome. Thank you very much. We only receive one apology. Is Honorable Diaga, who can't make it for this meeting today. Or no, it's two, and Honorable Mnisi, who is still not well. May both of them have a speedy recovery. We will keep them in our prayers. Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, I'm not sure, is there a member, I don't know who's calling me.
Speaker, it's Member Albert. I apologize for interrupting you like this. I just want to let you know that Member De Lange will join us a little bit later. She is on her way. Thank you very much.
Okay, late arrival, thank you. But I'm sure she can join virtually while she's still on her way. Thank you very much.
Yes, she will try. I think she's flying, so once she lands, then she will join us. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
No problem.
Madam Speaker, this Member De Jager.
Let me acknowledge all our officials present. Thank you. Thank you for your attendance. Oh, I'm told that Member De Jager is on the line.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'm joining virtually. I'm just not in the house.
No, we received your apology, and I just mentioned that, Honorable De Jager. You might not have heard me. Thank you very much.
Right.
Colleagues, let me check. Is there a member who wants to do an announcement? There are no announcements. Thank you very much. At least we are also safe from the sporting fans, those who love soccer. We are saved for today because it's not Bafana Bafana that has been playing over the weekend. But thank you very much. In terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, MEC statements, I have not received anything. In terms of Rule 81, subsection 1, member statement, starting with Honorable Mabunda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In accordance with Rule 81.1, I, Petros Mabunda, tables the following member statement on prostate cancer awareness. Madam Speaker, the World Health Organization indicates that cancer is the second leading cause of death globally, accounting for an estimated 9.6 million deaths, or 1 in 6 deaths in 2018. World Health Organization further indicates that many health systems in low-income and middle-income countries are least prepared to manage the tremendous strain put by this disease on health systems. Cancer also puts a lot of strain, physically, emotionally, and financially on families. Internationally, September is set aside as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. This is to raise awareness of the disease and encourage those that are at risk to test. While prostate cancer is one of the most common cancer affecting men, treatment is very effective and survival rates are good, particularly if caught early. Notwithstanding the challenges faced by the healthcare in the province, including the high population, we must applaud the efforts of the ANC-led government in providing quality prostate cancer treatment. The public-private partnership between the Charlotte Maxeke Johannesburg Academic Hospital and BD Africa that will see 12 prostate cancer patients receive advanced cancer treatment is welcome, as it is in line with the ANC government priority of creating a Gauteng where everyone has access to quality health care. We urge men, particularly those over 50, to go for prostate cancer screening because prevention is better than cure. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Perenost. Honorable Perenost, your member statement. I'm sure she's still trying to connect. Unfortunately, we'll have to pass. In terms of Rule 120, motion without notice, can I call on Honorable Chief Whip? Oh, the Deputy Chief Whip?
Good morning.
Oh, okay.
No. Morning, Speaker. I was just trying to link up. Madam Speaker, in accordance to, Madam Speaker, I, Member M. Kumalo, ANC Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rules 121 and Rules 122 as follows. Noting that the committee report of the ad hoc committee on recruitment of the Integrity Commissioner IC in terms of Rule 187 read together with Rule 279 subsection 2 of the standing rules was not programmed for the House sitting of today, the 30th of August 2020. Therefore, request that the House resolve to add the following report to today's sitting as follows. The committee report of the ad hoc committee on the recruitment of the Integrity Commissioner IC in terms of Rule 187A read together with Rule 279 subsection 2 of the standing rules. I so move, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder? Oh, Honorable Msimang.
I rise to second, Madam Speaker.
Seconded. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
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 All not in favor say no.
Yes.
The ayes have it. The motion is adopted by the House. Honorable Chief Whip. Another motion?
Madam Speaker, I, Member M. Kumalo, ANC Chief Whip, hereby table the following motion in terms of Rules 121 and Rule 122 together with Rule 117G as follows. Noting that Roman figure 1, the legislature mandate of cooperative governance as well as collaboration with local municipal council. Roman figure 2, the legislature in collaboration with local municipal council through Memorandum of Understanding, MAU. Roman figure 3, the objective of this Memorandum of Understanding are to formalize the working relationship between the parties and coordinate activities in areas of common interest, develop a common understanding from shared experience from which a legislature sector evolves, encourage intercapacity building program between participants, municipality and Gauteng provincial legislature, create a forum of the implementation of the provincial legislative sector program, establish uniform norms and standards governing the sector, provide effective and coherent legislature sector by implementation of this MAU. Parties agree that a formal relationship exists between them based on the unique constitutional status of the parties. Madam Speaker, I just want to clarify that this is not new. This is just to extend the mandate for the current term. I therefore request that the House resolve to adopt the MAU which forges relationship and collaboration with municipal council. I so move, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder?
Madam Speaker?
Okay.
Madam Speaker, we're having a problem with this. Not that we don't want this to pass, but the first time we get to hear about this is this morning at 10 to 9. We haven't had an opportunity to apply our minds to this. We haven't had an opportunity to consult the speakers in terms of what this is now saying, that there's been consultation with all the speakers across the province. We want to support this because ideally we don't see anything wrong with this, but we cannot continue to have things that are submitted 30 minutes or 40 minutes before the sitting. I mean, this is a lengthy document that we would have had to go through, and the legislation that talks to it. And this is it's something that cannot be really adopted in a matter of 5 minutes. So I want to then say to the Chief Whip, I'm sure we can do a whole lot better. I was consulting with our Chief Whip here, and he says he hasn't received this. The EFF hasn't received this. Nobody has received this before this morning, before an hour before the meeting started, and we cannot do this, ma'am.
Now we'll check what has happened, because about 3 weeks ago we had a second Gauteng Speakers Forum since the elections, and I am aware that the last municipality is going to be adopting this coming Wednesday. So all speakers, all municipalities have done that. Our last meeting was 3 weeks ago, where we checked whether the speakers are actually putting that. So we're the last one to put it in our sitting. So my apologies, because I was informed that this motion was circulated. Maybe there's something wrong that we will check. There's nothing really political about it here.
Madam Speaker, I think there's an agreement. I'm not objecting to this. I'm just saying going forward.
Yeah, we'll just check.
That we just ensure that all documents like this that are important, we get to have in advance. If there's issues, we can raise them with you instead of waiting to come and debate them here while there's motions without notice being served on us. Okay. So with that, I want to second.
Okay, second. Thank you, Honorable Msimang. Can I now put the question? All those in favor say yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All not in favor say no.
Yes, yes, yes.
The yes have it. The motion is adopted by the House. In terms of Rule 121, can I check is there a member who wants to give notice of a motion? There's none. Thank you very much. Can we therefore go to our first item, which is questions to the Premier for oral reply, in terms of Rule 138, starting with Honorable Msimang.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Good morning, fellow members of the legislature and to the Premier, members of the public. Honorable Premier, in terms of the lifestyle audits on members of the executive, could you please indicate one by when, and please give us a date, will these lifestyle audits be concluded? 2, if they are concluded, why have they not been released? 3, why has the Premier not taken the public into his confidence by explaining why there are delays in making these reports public? 4, If these reports have been finalized, has there been any adverse finding against members of the executive? And 5, if yes, which members and what were the findings? Thank you very much.
Honorable Premier.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Colleagues in the Executive Council, honorable members of our legislature, both in the House and those joining virtually. The first thing, if I can respond to the question asked by Honorable Msimang, is to say, Madam Speaker, today is the second day of the Gauteng Provincial Gender-Based Violence Summit, which is held in preparation for the Presidential Gender-Based Violence Second Summit, which is coming in November. It is also the second but last day of the Women's Month. We have been participating in our programs, including the summit that is currently underway, and I would like members of the legislature to note that that summit will conclude today. Gender-based violence is a very, very serious pandemic in our province, and it's one of those areas around which we want to mobilize society, mobilize all parties, and mobilize the different stakeholders to ensure that we tackle this in a multidisciplinary way to address the fundamental underlying causes, including women's vulnerabilities and risks, economic vulnerabilities and risks, as well as the situation of patriarchy overall. Having said that, and I think that's why, Honorable Speaker, I'm wearing this GBV Brigade uniform, which all those who are involved as activists in communities know why. I want to say to Honorable Msimang, thank you very much for keeping track on this fundamental issue. You are keeping track because you are always the one who say, where are we now? You will recall that when we released the State of Ethics report on the 31st of May, we did indicate where we were with regard to the lifestyle audits. And I want to say to you that the update I am going to give to you today is in line with the fact that the kind of lifestyle audits we are doing, conducted by the state agency, in this particular case, the State Security Agency, there are only 2 provinces that are doing this in the Republic. That is the Eastern Cape Province and Gauteng Province. Yes, the Western Cape conducted the lifestyle audits commissioned to the private agency, private firm, but the lifestyle audits we are doing, it's only 2 agencies of the state. They are in line, only 2 provinces, Eastern Cape and Gauteng. They are in line with the broad framework approved by President Cyril Ramaphosa. That framework is being pioneered here. So at the end of May, I did indicate that all the MECs have complied with that phase of the process, which was a preliminary, which was a full comprehensive assessment of every MEC with regard to all the important questions, including their sources of income, including the fact that they live within their means, including the fact that they comply with the tax regime of our country, including the fact that they are South Africans, because you cannot be a member of this house if you are not a South African. Honorable Masuku, you are. So they checked everything. They verified all the details. They've gone to the second phase. In May, I said They, in their own process, this is a new process, will also interact with all of us about that first phase. When they interacted with us, all of us as members of the executive, without exception, this I want to say, without exception, agreed that that first phase they've conducted is not good enough, because we want them to do the full, beyond the current standard. We want them to do a full security as well as a lifestyle assessment, which includes, Honorable Msimang, a polygraph test. So they've completed that. So what they have given a feedback to us is that in September they will be conducting the polygraph test. And I want to say to you that in the initial phase of this as a test process, both ourselves and the Eastern Cape, who were conducting the test, this as the trial provinces, we feel a polygraph test is very important. MECs on their own, voluntarily, all of us, including myself, feel we must go all the way. Now, if you know what that means, is that they will, at the end, be able to issue a full security clearance, top secret security clearance, and full compliance. That's what we want. We don't want some half measure. We want a full top secret security clearance. That's in our country, in line with our laws. That's the new standard we want to set. We want to set a standard in our province where every MEC, even before they are appointed, undergo this process. You would know that it is something that was applying only to officials. So we are introducing a standard. So your specific questions is, so they have said to us in September they will do the polygraph test. So by that time, when they do that, they would have complied not only with the initial idea, but with what we think is the gold standard of this. The gold standard of the lifestyle audits is that in addition for the assessments they have done, and I am very happy that all our MECs have complied without exception. They've complied, they have cooperated, they've worked with the state security agencies, and all of them are ready for the polygraph test that will be conducted in September, scheduled by the state security agency. We need nothing less than a full top secret security clearance which addresses all issues that the lifestyle audits would deal with, as I said, including that people in political office, we want to set a new gold standard, that people in political office need to undergo this before they are assigned the responsibility. So, Honorable Msimang, that's really where we are, and the State Security Agency is going to schedule the polygraph test. That's the gold standard, as I say. They could have easily stopped here and said that we are done, but we have said we want you to be able to issue MECs with the full compliance, and as I say, we are only 2 provinces that are the first experiment, and we hope this will also be carried through at a national level, and not only when people are already in office, but even before they are appointed in office, that they will go through this process and be issued with the top secret security clearance. That's the gold standard of any country's assurance. Integrity assurance. Thank you very much, Honorable Msimang.
Thank you. Any supplementary questions or short remarks, Honorable Msimanga?
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think the Premier in the last minute then highlighted what this was. This was not a lifestyle audit. This was actually a vetting process. And there's a difference. A lifestyle audit is when all your income streams are taken into account, your Your bank statements are taken into account, and I'm not just saying it, Premier. It's there. If you go and look at the DPSA audit processes that have to be followed, it actually explains what needs to happen. I'm not disputing what you've just said to us. I am just saying that what you have just said is an audit, is a vetting process. It's not an audit process, because an audit process is where they say, Honorable Premier owns a house, this and is able to have paid for that house. He earns this salary, and this is what we can then deduct, that the lifestyle is actually matching what the income is. And from what I'm hearing you are saying now is that we're not there at that stage as yet. Perhaps what I need to then find out is, when do we get there? Have you got any indication as to when we will get there? Thanks.
Honorable Hoffman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Premier alluded to a polygraph test. Would this House be privy to the questions that's been asked at the polygraph test? Because as I understand, any question can be asked, but it might not have any substance to what we are looking for in the audit process. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Premier.
Honorable Hoffman, you must go for a polygraph test. You must ask the honorable next to you there knows what's involved in polygraph test. Honorable Msimang, what I call the minimum has already been done. So what you were talking about, asset, income and expenditure, is the minimum. That has already been completed. These MECs who are here and those who are listening at home will tell you. So that part has been done. Income and expenditure, assets, including whether there's the potential for conflict of interest, that part is minimum. So I am talking about the gold standard. So that part has been completed. The gold standard is beyond comparing what people's earnings are and what are their assets, and accounting for how did they get these assets, what's the source of income are. That's the minimum. So that has already been done. The gold standard is what will be completed in September. The State Security Agency said to us it will just take them 2 days to do everybody. There are members who have been public servants before, senior public servants, who have undergone that. There is a level of the two, what is just normal vetting, and this new process that is the gold standard. Essentially, the two provinces, in this case I'm saying, so the Western Cape did theirs, but we talk here about the state verification done by state agencies that have a capacity and mandate by law to can check everything, including, because they are custodians of state secrets. So we have gone through all those processes, so we're just waiting for that. There's nothing that they haven't done. And as I say, we want to go to the furthest in this journey, because we're doing it, we're setting the gold standard that in our province, there are members of the legislature who have also said they would want to do the same. I really marvel at those who are ready to do it. Please arrange with the Speaker. I know that the State Security Agency will be ready to do that, but it is something that if you do the gold standard, when you have top secret security clearance, is important not just for the work you do now. It's important. Some of the members here, some committees in Parliament, not here, some committees in Parliament require actually that people need to undergo that kind of top secret security clearance. It's a good thing for country, for members of our legislature, firstly to satisfy ourselves that we are men and women of integrity. We can account for everything that we have But it's also a good thing that we pose no threat. We pose no threat to you. When do you want to do yours? If you want to do yours next month in September, that will be done. But Honorable Msimang, I have said to you that they will do this. They said to us they are scheduling it in September. It will take them just 2 days to complete this. And that we want nothing less. We don't want, and this is the most comprehensive, as I said to you. The minimum, which is what you are saying, is our executive says that we must go all the way beyond this minimum. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The next question, Honorable Kumalo to the Premier.
Honorable Speaker, it's Member Mabala. I'm just seeking clarity from you, Madam Chair.
The rules don't allow that. The Premier
No,
has... No, Honorable Mabala. Honorable Mabala, please. Honorable Mabala,
we have people who are not members in this meeting virtually, so I just wanted clarity from you if you allow people who are not members. I know there are some officials who can attend virtually, but I can see some other new names that we don't know. So I'm seeking clarity from you if that is allowed, Madam Speaker.
What is allowed? You raise a rule number and you indicate to the presiding officer that you see people that are not either members or officials that are supposed to log in. That's the procedure. You don't just shout, Honorable Mabala.
No, Speaker, you must be fair.
But
even
what
Hoffman didn't raise the rules. Hoffman spoke now, didn't raise the rules. Why are you taking Member Mabala?
Honorable Mukwebo.
He didn't raise the rules, Hoffman, he just spoke.
There's no Hoffman, there's Honorable... Honorable Mukwebo. Honorable Itswalo, please. Honorable Mukwebo. The only problem is that you are looking at me, but I'm looking at Honorable Hoffman. He was raising his hand. So I had to allow him to do so. But you did not raise your hand. And Honorable Mabala must raise the rule and indicate it is allowed to say if there is a problem, there is a procedure how you do it. You don't just shout. I think what we'll do, Honorable Mabala. Don't respond, Honorable Mabala. We'll just verify. We'll verify the information that you are raising, and we'll deal with it accordingly. Thank you very much, Honorable Kumalo, to the Premier.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. In terms of Rule 138, I would like to ask the following question to the Premier. Noting the trend of targeted violence and murder in various townships of Gauteng, particularly in taverns and places of recreation, can the Premier please indicate, one, if these violent killings do not pose a risk in the government effort to transform townships through Gauteng Township Economic Bill? Two, what intervention does the Gauteng government have to claim back Gauteng Township from the thugs behind the spate of these killings? Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Premier.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip, for an important question. This is extremely important, the issue of the impact of crime on business, particularly on the township businesses. Once more, I would like to take the opportunity to express our deep outrage about the shootings that have taken place in July and August in our province, in the following areas: in Katlehong, in Orlando, in Alexandra, in Mamelodi, in Tsakani, in the CBD of Johannesburg, in Thembelihle, and in Deep Kloof. During this spate of shootings, 34 people were killed and 32 were injured. The police have arrested 17 suspects with regard to the shootings in Katlehong, Alexandra, Tsakani, the Johannesburg CBD. Those three areas, the suspects have been arrested. In some of the shootings, The criminals used high-caliber firearms. They used rifles to shoot at people who were in establishments that are legally operating in our communities, adults who have every right to enjoy themselves because that's within the framework of our law and our constitution. The South African Police Service has been working extremely hard, and I must report to this House that they have been able to track some of the suspects and trace others. They have tracked down some of the suspects, as I've said, 17 of them, but they've traced others who committed these crimes and ran to neighboring countries where they came from, particularly the suspects who committed the killing, the shooting in Orlando, have been traced to one of the SADC countries. And the police are collaborating with the authorities in that country to bring those suspects here at home to face the might of the law. Some of these criminals are linked to ongoing violent crimes. Some of these crimes are related to cash in transit heists. Others are linked to illegal mining in our province. We also know that the incident where 8 women were raped in West Village near Kagiso in the West Rand is not an isolated incident. There's a whole belt from the east of our province, from Springs, of illegal mines that stretches from Springs up to Carltonville, if not beyond, going into Klerksdorp, going into different provinces up to Northern Cape. So I want to say that what we are dealing with here is an organized group of heavily armed criminals who are conducting different types of criminal activities, unlawful activities, violating our laws in different areas of our province. And it is clear, as is indicated by those who have now, after the shooting in Orlando, who have decided to go and hide in their country of origin. It's clear that we are dealing with some of the people who are former policemen and women, and some who are former members of the defense force in the respective countries. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, that we have supported the call made by the communities of the West Rand that the South African National Defence Force must be brought in to support anti-crime operations, especially when the police and our Metro South African police and Metro police departments are dealing with clearly organized and well-armed gangs. There are specific communities in Gauteng around these illegal mining dams where every night there are shootings, women are raped, and there are all kinds of criminal activities that take place. And it is our sense that these activities are now spreading across the province. Honorable Chief Whip, you are asking whether this spate of crime and spate of shootings that have taken place in every region of our province, from the east to the west, from the south to the north. You're asking if this spate of crime are not going to affect business. Business is already affected in a very, very terrible way, including legal mining in our country. The mining sector is terribly affected. Small businesses in the communities around where this armed criminal gangs are operating. But also this is spreading to different areas. And we have said to the police apart from the arrest that they have carried out, we would like them to act with speed to bring all the perpetrators to book. The township businesses have reported that in many areas, they are also terribly affected. People are fearful. We had a session with women on Women's Day. People are fearful. There's fears across the townships, across our province. It's not only those who are in the taverns, Honorable Kumalo. It's not only those, even just people walking from home, afternoons, or walking from work. There are people who knock off late, walking from work to home. When they have arrived in the townships, people are generally very fearful that they'll come across a marauding gang of criminals who are just shooting at everybody indiscriminately. And in some instances, they're not even taking anything from people. They're just shooting. So that is why we call this a reign of terror imposed. But the businesses in our townships are very determined to ensure that the Township Economic Development Act is implemented. And I'm glad to report that despite this very, very well planned and patterned criminal activities, township businesses have said to us they will not be stopped by criminals. And the momentum for the positive implementation of the Township Economic Development Act has taken off. 3 weeks ago, we were in Katoras, particularly in Tokoza, unveiling a program on the township retail support program, in which we brought partners there with township businesses to unveil what this legislature has passed. So the implementation of TEDA, the Township Economic Development Act, the first set of township retailers, that retailers includes the stores and the spaza shops. We people in the township say the word spaza shop appears like they must remain small. They say they are retailers, they are retail shops. The first set of those, 80 of them in the East Rand, are now being supported by the Gauteng provincial government in line with the Township Economic Development Act. We moved from there to the Vaal, where 2 weeks ago, we started a process of engaging with the businesses in the Vaal, the manufacturers in the Vaal, including those who are in the construction and infrastructure sector, and those who are in cannabis growers and farmers. We are again there rolling out the implementation of the Township Economic Development Act, even if there's crime, even if there's the township businesses, including women who have said so loudly when we were meeting with business women last week, Thursday, and even women who said so loudly on Women's Day that they want to see the army deployed in the townships to help the police, especially when you deal with armed gangs of criminals who are marauding, these marauding gangs of well-trained people who are terrorizing our communities. Last week we moved to the West Rand, and in the West Rand, again, we are engaging with township businesses to roll out the township retail program, the support for manufacturers. We engage with them, including the farmers in the West Rand. But in the West Rand, we also have township enterprises and entrepreneurs who want to be artisanal miners. As we deal with illegal mining, one of the fundamental policy shifts we need in our country is that we must allow small-scale miners. Small-scale mining is not illegal, it must not be banned. We must deal with illegal mining. And I made, in 2019, I made in the State of the Province address a call that we need to legalize artisanal miners. And in the West Rand, we met people there who have done extensive work about what they want to do with the rehabilitation of the mining dams, but also that some of the abandoned mines that have been abandoned by big corporates, that those mines themselves can still be mined. We must support artisanal miners in the townships as a big component of the township economy. In this whole mining belt from the West Rand coming through Johannesburg right into Ekurhuleni. So artisanal mining is a very, very important area. On the 1st of September, this is my last issue, Honorable Chief Whip. On the 1st of September, the whole Executive Council, all departments, all MECs will be in the West Rand. We have a township fair there. We will have township businesses from all over the West Rand. In Kagiso, at the Kagiso Sports Complex, there we are bringing all departments again. We are rolling out the implementation of the Township Economic Development Act. From those who are involved in cannabis and agriculture and agro-processing to those involved in manufacturing. There's a lot of them who showed us, including the mechanics, who are using our automotive hub, beautiful, well-equipped automotive hub at Chamdor in the West Rand. The township mechanics have occupied it now. They are using it to do repair and maintenance of vehicles. We're using the equipment that we have worked with our international partners to put for the township. So, Honorable Chief Whip, crime will not deter the determination of township businesses to want to rebuild and grow the township economy. It will not deter us as government to work with them, to support them. When we move from the West Rand this week, we are going to go to Tshwane the following week. To focus on Tshwane, we'll do the same, go to Ekurhuleni, come back to Johannesburg. We're doing the same to implement what this legislature has passed as the Township Economic Development Bill. Crime affects even bigger sectors of the economy. We have established the war room that brings, including private security companies, into a place together with our law enforcement agencies and bring all resources to tackle crime in Gauteng province. The efforts of the war room that is dealing with crime and lawlessness will soon come to bear. Our law enforcement agencies are working with us. We are joining them as often as we can. Aslali Emakaya. We are working day and night to deal with criminals wherever they are, whether they are South Africans or non-South Africans. Criminals are criminals. They must be found. They must be stopped on their tracks. They must be brought to book. They must be arrested. But we also want to say that we have seen how other countries in the SADC, like Botswana, are dealing with crime. You know, one of the things, if there is a crime committed in Botswana, the police immediately they indicate that since there were so many people who were arrested, and not long, they said 6 of these are South Africans at a cash in transit heist in Gaborone. We in South Africa are so ashamed to report the nationality of criminals, and we are told that to do so is xenophobic. It is important that when criminals are terrorizing us, we must say so. And I want to repeat that the people who shot and killed people at Orlando have run away from the country. They've run away from the country. The police have traced them back to the country of their origin. They are working with law enforcement authorities to bring them back here. They can't commit crimes and run away. We must find them. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Chief Whip?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Of a particular issue I want to pick up is the artisan mining or miners, in other words, to ensure that as Gauteng we move very fast to formalize, because I want to believe that if that area was formalized, would have had a little impact insofar as the issues of Zamazamas are concerned. And just to say that when we do that, we need to ensure that we mobilize our own people, our South African young people in particular, as part of our program of economic freedom in the province as such. Thank you very much, Premier. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Honourable Premier, you still want to cover it? Thank you very much. The second item. Oh, okay.
I said I agree with the chief.
Honorable Dwaba, you are disturbing the House, please. Honorable Alberts, honorable members, can we allow Honorable Alberts to raise the supplementary question or short remark?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would just like to raise a follow-up question in terms of Rule 138.9. And I would just like to know if the Premier understands and knows what the motive is for these killings at taverns. They seem to be killings that doesn't have a motive that one understands. They seem to come along and kill people indiscriminately. They do not seem to be acting within the requirements of robbery as such. They don't seem to be taking things as such, but just indiscriminately killing people almost randomly at taverns. And do we understand the motive of these people? There seems to be a new trend in South Africa, within Gauteng as well. So it's something we would like to understand properly in terms of the motive of these people. Thank you very much.
Honorable Premier.
Well, I can't give more information than what I have said so far. I think the investigations by the police, our law enforcement agencies, and the court cases themselves will help us a great deal to uncover what, Honorable Alberts, what would be the motives of this. I think all we need as a country is that we can't sit back when you have a systematic, well-organized gangs that go about shooting people. And this, as we see, this is, the police are also saying there's lots of illegal firearms involved in this. The rest of what else may be the motive is what our law enforcement agencies must be able to get down to, as I say, including through the processes that are before our courts. My preoccupation at the moment is with getting every resource of the state should be directed to finding these killers and stopping them on their tracks. We've got the resources as the state, from our municipal government, the Metro Police that we have, to the Gauteng Traffic, the South African Police Service, and I have added, we have state security, the State Security Agency, we have the South African National Defence Force. Sitting from where I sit as a premier of a province, my preoccupation is we have to do everything to ensure safety. I must also say that this is a matter that we have discussed with the President as these issues have arisen. And the President did say to me that from where he's sitting, he is also ensuring that the law enforcement agencies and the state security organs, and here I mean the state security organs as a whole, are also going to ensure that these issues of the safety of our people are attended to. I had to raise, after our meeting in Kagiso, I had to raise the issue of the South African National Defence Force because we feel strong about this. Previously, the South African National Defence Force has come into anti-crime operations with the police. There was something that used to be called Operation Fiela, which was a joint operation of the South African Police Service, our Metro Police Services, and the National Defence Force, especially when they deal with areas where there's really violent crime, when they know that we are getting into an area where people are armed and they are going to respond in that way. I've been out with the police at night. Honorable Alberts, I've been out with the police at night to go doing anti-crime operations where in some instances the police said to me that that place is very dangerous, Premier. we would go there with MEC Faith Mazbuko. They would say to us in advance, that place is very dangerous. That place, we've got these armed groupings in that place. And that's what all we are saying, really. We don't want the militarization of the police. But when you have armed, everybody knowing, including the law enforcement, that in that settlement, you have people who are armed there, and even the agencies of the state know that they are armed. There must be an appropriate response. We've got places in Benoni, we've got places there, settlements that are known. If you go there, there's going to be a military, there's Langlachte there. The military, there's going to be a confrontation. So the point I am making, we may not know everything about what their motives are, but these people must be confronted. I think this House must speak with one voice, that we must unleash the resources of the state to confront them. Honorable Mkwebo, I know you can join us at night to can confront these people who are there. But we don't want to do, citizens are saying they don't want to do it with their bare hands because there is the state agencies that should do their work. Honorable Albert, the motives will be known when they appear before court and when they are arrested. Our first and foremost preoccupation is that they must be arrested and they must be brought before the courts.
Thank you. The next part is questions for oral reply to the executive in terms of Rule 134, starting with Honorable Bloom to MEC for Health.
Thank you, Madam MEC. This one is not on the written one, but it should have been there. Thank you. To the MEC for Health, regarding the Anglo-Ashanti Hospital, will the MEC please indicate, one, how much money in rands and cents is there in the current budget for anything to do with this hospital? Two, what is intended to be done with the hospital in this financial year? Three, what commissioned work on this hospital is still unfinished? Four, how much in rands and cents has been paid and will be paid for security at this hospital? And five, what work still has to be done for the entire hospital building to meet the legal, occupational health and safety standards? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to honorable members. And thank you very much, Honorable Bloom, for the question. Response to question 1, 25 million, it's still available. And response to question 2, the department has since terminated the lease or did not renew the agreement and has no intention to continue with the project. The department will be removing the last remaining assets and the equipment. And currently there is a assets committee that is working with the infrastructure so that they can sort out the wall-mounted medical equipment. A response to question 3, the building work completed, but the electrical access control, CCTV, and laundry were not yet commissioned. Response to question 4, Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development was responsible for the security services at the facility. Response to question 5, the department has since terminated the lease or did not renew and has no intention to continue with the project. There is no planned work for the financial year and in future for the Department of Health. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Honorable Bloom?
Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm sorry the Honourable Premier left this House, probably because he knew this question was coming up. He opened this hospital in May last year with great fanfare, treated a grand total of 147 patients at a very low level, COVID patients. They spent 500 million rand in this hospital, and I just want to confirm with the Honourable MEC, does she agree with me that this money was entirely wasted? 500 million rand was spent on refurbishing the hospital, another 200 million rand on equipment. Some of that you can salvage, but there were staff costs. But basically, does the Honourable MEC agree with me now that you've got no further plans for this hospital, that you've actually wasted 500 million rand? Thank you.
Honourable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I'm not going to comment on that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Honorable Hoffman to MEC for Community Safety.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It has been a year since the July 2021 unrest in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Noting the realization by the senior members in SAPS that the POP's public order policing units in Gauteng was not able to handle the massive scale of rioters, can the MEC indicate whether shortcomings in the SAPS POPs units was addressed and fixed with regards to availability and quality of equipment such as armadillo suits, vehicles, rubber bullets and tear gas? 2, availability and access to fire equipment, medical kits, completed and vehicles. Number 3, fully resourced and capacitated manpower and engagement with other stakeholders to increase effective response and resources such as ambulance services, SAPS and SANDF. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to yourself and to Premier, our honorary brigade. Speaker, I did not congratulate Premier for wearing our brigade bib. He's one of the foot soldiers who do door to door when it comes to working on gender TPV matters and in ensuring that our women are safe in Gauteng and all vulnerable communities. But let's appreciate the question from Honorable Member Hoffman. In responding to question number 1, Honorable Member, the police do have armadillo suits. They have a total of 516 of them. They've got a shortage of almost 342. And it's because of the deficiencies that are being addressed through prescribed procurement processes. On vehicles, POPs unit, they actually have 200. The actual number, they are supposed to have 238 vehicles. And they have required 185, and they have 53 extra cars, and also they will be allocated in this new financial year about 11 of them. On the question number 3, if there's sufficient stock of rubber bullets and tear gas, they do have on the availability of the fire equipment and medical kits. My apology, Madam Speaker, is that with fire equipment, they've got a total of 141. They have a shortage of 105. And there is sufficient stock for medical kits. In responding to question number 3, on fully resourced and capacitated manpower, they have an actual strength of 761 personnel, that is your POPs people, and they have a surplus of almost 65 because what they were granted according to their organogram was 696. And stations do have additional members, especially at entry level, in line with the Police Service Act. And when it comes to engagement with other stakeholders to increase effective response and resources such as ambulance services, SAPS and CDF, they do have a close working relationship with all law enforcement agencies, including security companies, ER, emergencies, EMS, ER24, and some teams within the SANDF, Madam Honorable Speaker. I thank you very much for the question.
Any supplementary question, Honorable Hoffman?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Siyabonga MEC, I really appreciate the answer. I just want to make you aware of the fact that I have visited numerous nyalas that is operating across Gauteng, and I have not seen any medical or fire equipment on those nyalas. So if the MEC can respectfully maybe take it up with the SAPS so that the police members of POPs are serviced with those medical kits and fire equipment. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I thought you will tell MEC that we spoke about the Premier being a gender-based violence activist on my behalf. Okay. Honorable MEC.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Member Hoffman, if you check thoroughly within those nyalas that we have visited, there are fire hydrants. I mean, I've seen them with my own eyes. So I'm not sure which ones you checked on, but those that have been in, I've seen those fire hydrants, and in ensuring that they're able to respond to fire quickly if there is a need for that. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Next question, Honorable Mukwebo to MEC for Infrastructure Development.
Thank you very much, Speaker. With reference to the problems relating to maintenance in Radio 8K in Tabatswane, which was raised by the residents over the past 2 years, will the MEC respond to the following? What does the department intend to do about the cutting of the grass on a regular basis, fixing the vandalized electrical substation, the non-working street lights issues, and the security risk in Radio 8K? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and thank you for the question. With regards to Radio 8K, it falls outside the scope of the Gauteng provincial government and therefore outside of the mandate of the Department of Infrastructure Development. We humbly request the member to refer the question to the relevant departments, possibly the National Department of Infrastructure and Public Works or the Department of Military Veterans. Thank you very much.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Honorable Mukwebo? Covered, thank you. Can you go to the next question? Honorable Mukwebo again to MEC for Health.
Thank you. I think the MEC will respond of health because infrastructure MEC, she doesn't respond to my questions. I think I will raise it with the programming and the speaker yourself. Tambo Memorial Hospital in Boksburg was deemed unfit for human habitation and an occupational health hazard. Will the MEC respond to the following? To give us the 2017 Health and Safety Report. Given some of the portion of this hospital still have got asbestos buildings, noting that the structural damages are worrisome, how are these specified issues being addressed, and what date will the hospital either be moved to an alternative site and to start with infrastructural maintenance project? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Mukwebo, for the question. Response to question 1. The department decided not to close the hospital based on the outcome of the various engagements held with the communities due to concerns raised on the unavailability of a health facility nearby to provide the services. The continued use of the hospital building is managed with due consideration to compliance with the legislative requirements. And response to question 2, the report is attached as requested. Honorable Mukwebo, it's quite a thick report, but I will make the report available to programming so that you can be able to get it. Response to question 3, given that some portions of the hospital still have asbestos buildings and noting that the structural damages are worrisome, in response to that question, the facilities refurbishment as well as the occupational health and safety programs are implemented to address the safety issues. Specifically, the new building will be constructed for the orthopedic workshop and decommissioning of the build with asbestos material in line with the construction that will commence in October 2022. A B of that question, the infrastructure maintenance project will begin in October 2022. I will avail the attachment, Honorable Speaker, to Honorable Mukwebo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any supplementary question or short remark?
Yeah, thanks, Speaker. It's a question, just a follow-up on the response from the MEC when she said she met the communities. I just want her to be specific which communities and the date of the meeting which she engaged with and the minutes, because I've been informed by the communities around there I just want to be specific because we have got MECs in this province who come here and mislead the House. So we can't mention some, but we are ready as the EFF on this one to say, if we're misled, we're going to take the matter up. She can respond to that one specific so that it can be on the record. Thanks.
Honorable MEC.
Honorable Speaker, I think this is the new question. I think Honorable Mukwebo can pose that question so that the department can be able to attach the minutes and give the precise date to when they engage with the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, Honorable Bloom to MEC for Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, to the MEC for Health. Regarding investigations by News 24 concerning Babita Deokaran's request for a forensic investigation into payments made by Tembisa Hospital, will the MEC please indicate, 1, did the acting head of department or any other official at the time receive such a request? 2, if so, why was no forensic investigation done into the Tembisa Hospital payments that she flagged as suspicious? 3, whose decision was it not to do a forensic investigation into the Tembisa Hospital payments? 4, was the MEC aware at any stage of any request or observation by Babita Deokaran of suspicious payments at Tembisa Hospital? And 5, if so, what was the MEC's role in this matter? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Bloom, for the question. Response to question 1, no, there has never been such an official request recorded by the department of a forensic investigation requested by the late Ms. Babita Deokaran. Response to question 2, because there was no request, that question falls off, and question 3 falls off. Response to question 4, the answer is no. No formal report was tabled to the MEC about any forensic investigation that was requested by the late Ms. Babita Deokaran by the acting HOD then. Thank you very much. Oh, the last one falls off because there was no formal report requesting a forensic investigation that was tabled to the MEC. Thank you.
Honorable Bloom, any supplementary question or short remark?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the Honourable MEC is being disingenuous here. I didn't ask for an official report, but whether a request or observation was made by Babita Deokaran to the acting head of department or any other official, and that obviously would cover the chief financial officer. So I think, quite frankly, the Honourable MEC is ducking the question, but, you know, surely there were other signs that there should have been an investigation. Why have we waited a full year before we get an investigation after the murder of Babita Deokaran? Surely the department itself should have been going through her emails and WhatsApp messages to find out what was actually happening here. So I think it's a severe indictment, lack of accountability on the part of the MEC herself. But I want to give the Honourable MEC today a chance to comment on an accusation by Sanco in June this year already, which she could have acted on, where in fact Sanco, in a news report, I'm just reading the headline, Sanco claimed that ANC Provincial Deputy Secretary Hopeful Nomatema Mokheti was the mastermind behind the alleged tender procurement corruption at Tembisa Hospital. So here we have Sanco, a respected alliance partner of the ruling party, saying this in June this year. So already there should have been indications of an investigation. There should have been an investigation a year ago, and the MEC is hiding behind an official request where in fact the evidence is that she did make her views known, that there should have been a forensic investigation of the chief financial officer, and in any event there should have been an investigation. Obviously she was flagging these suspicious payments. I think that there's been a cover-up, and I think that the Honourable MEC needs to explain her involvement and at least respond to the accusations by Sanco that were made in June this year. Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I can't give more information than I have already given. And I think all of us are aware that there is a forensic investigation that will be instituted by the SIU. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Next question on behalf of Honorable Diakhe, who. Yeah, but you can't ask a question when there's a response from the MEC already. Unfortunately, Honorable Alberts, the MEC has responded. On behalf of Honorable Diakhe, who indicated that he will be running late, Honorable Randall will ask a question to MEC for community safety.
Thank you. Good morning, Speaker. To the MEC Community Safety, regarding the Douglasdale Police Station, will the MEC please indicate, 1, will a brick and mortar police station be built to replace the dilapidated structure used as the current Douglasdale Police Station? 2, if yes, when, date, will this take place? 3, if yes, will the community be afforded the opportunity to provide input as to the location and typology of the station? And 4, if no to 1, please indicate if renovations will be done to the current station and when this will take place. And 5, if no to 3, please explain why not.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member, for the question with regards to Douglasdale Police Station. Madam Speaker, in responding to question number 1, if a brick and mortar police station is to be built, the answer is yes. In responding to question number 2, of when maybe the date, you all know that, remember, everything relies on Public Works National. It's Public Works National that build a police station. As a province, we don't build police stations, so the determined time, we can't be able to mention it, except to say site clearance has already started. Currently, it is underway in the second language. Site clearance is currently underway, so meaning where the police station is actually going to be built, they've already started clearing that site. In response to question number 3, to be afforded the opportunity to provide the location and typology, of the station, yes. Once the site clearance has been finalized, the identified site will adhere to the required specifications, and I'm 100% sure that location will actually be shared as soon as more work has actually been done in relation to that. In responding to question number 4, it means it's not applicable because I've already responded to it. Even question number 5 is not applicable. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Randall, any supplementary question or short remark?
A short remark, thank you, Speaker. In July this year, we heard how SAPS plans to build 29 new stations over the next 4 years countrywide at a budgeted cost of 2 billion. That's Public Works. Now, guess what? Gauteng was not on this list. It's not included in this list of 29 new stations, and it's not only Douglasdale, but we need to take heed of the fact that the fast growing of the new formal and informal human settlements and in-migration in our province will ultimately result in the collapse of our effective policing if no new or additional stations are planned and built in this province very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable MEC.
I somnoma mina ngiyazi uyithatha up leyo ngoba currently even Ennerdale is one of those stations that have been prioritized. Douglasdale is another police station that the honorable member is speaking about. Already site clearance has already started, so leyo zakhe zamampunga angizazi somlomo. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Next question, Honorable Hoffman to MEC for Community Safety.
Thank you, Speaker. With the SAP focusing on illegal firearms and the numerous successes with regards to the confiscation of these firearms, the SAP becomes the custodian and the legal responsible body of these confiscated firearms, thus meaning that they are responsible for destroying the same weapons or firearms. Case number 35/09/2020, 500 plus firearms was confiscated from a licensed firearms dealer on the farm Moria Saiplas, Botswana, Gauteng, section of the farm Rietfontein 395 JR for Gasfontein Road. Can the MEC indicate where these firearms are stored? How many firearms there are? What the status of the investigation is? How many of these firearms have been destroyed? And how many of these firearms have been linked to criminal activities? I thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and truly appreciated the question. In responding to question number 1, where are these firearms stored? All firearms stored, when they are handed to the police, they're actually kept in the SAPS 13, and they're also recorded in the SAPS register and kept at secure police safe. How many firearms are there? The response is there are 538 firearms that are currently in the stores. In responding to question number 3, on the status of investigation, the investigation is ongoing, Honourable Speaker, and how many of these firearms have been destroyed? The response so far is that none have been destroyed. How many of these firearms have been linked to criminal activities? The ballistic reports that come from the SAPS are ones that are actually still outstanding, and the police are waiting for, so they'll be able to share that report as soon as the ballistics reports have been shared. Thank you, Nyabo.
Thank you. Honorable Hoffman, any supplementary or short remark?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, just one remark. MEC, respectfully, I want to advise or ask you to do an investigation on those firearms that are not in that SAPS 13 storeroom as is alluded to us here. Thank you, MEC.
Honorable MEC.
Hayi somlomo cha eza namhlanje ziyangibhida ngempela. Ilunga libone kanjani ukuthi azikho lapha ngapha. Bekafunani ne-SAPS 13 lakazabo ukuthi azikho. Ngiyabonga kakhulu somlomo.
Next question, Honorable Alberts to MEC Infrastructure.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the MEC, with reference to the Capitol Theatre in Church Square in Pretoria, indicate as following? 1, does the Capitol Theatre fall under the jurisdiction of the Infrastructure Development Department or Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality? 2, if yes, is the MEC aware of the fact that the theatre has fallen in disuse, save for a parking business being operated on the premises and is in serious need of repair? And 3, if no, under whose jurisdiction does the theatre fall? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
MEC. MEC. MEC Infrastructure Development. Leader of Government Business, can you help us? Can you help us to track the MEC because she's not responding?
No. Can I answer? Or I'll track it.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you can, Honorable Leader of Government Business, you can continue. Because there are two questions, we can't, and those are the last questions.
Looks like the MEC is sleeping.
The MEC has indicated on the chat that her device speaker is giving her difficulty, and I'm sure Member Mabala saw that as well. But I think we'll just give the MEC a moment through you, Speaker. I think she's just having a technical challenge. Thank you.
Honorable Hassan, please don't confuse the sitting.
Hassan, you won't get MEC position. Just relax, my baby. Relax. There are eagles there. They are watching that thing. Eagles.
I'm going to obey the Speaker, and I'm not going to confuse the House. Don't worry, Member Mokwevo. I'm very much in line with the Speaker.
Sharp. Hayi ngibheka ukuthi fence uyenza ngefoni la. Akaphuma ayophendula ngaphandle.
Speaker, I'm back. Can I respond? Apologies for that. My device just got stuck.
MEC, maybe if I can read the Riot Act, that is not acceptable.
Apologies, I had to log back out and in, Speaker.
No, she must be charged. She must be charged.
Honorable Mokwebo, please.
Even
please.
when you're a senior leader in your party, you can't tolerate this.
Honorable Mokwebo, please.
I'm not
don't.
an ANC member. You are not my senior.
Honorable Mokwebo, please. Can you behave? Let's allow the Honorable MEC to respond.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and thank you for the question. To Member Alberts, just to respond, I can respond to item 3, is that this theatre does not fall under the jurisdiction of the department. It does fall under the jurisdiction of the municipality. Thank you very much.
Honorable Alberts, do you have a supplementary question or a short remark?
Madam Speaker, no, I don't have, but that provides clarity. Thank you very much. It also has an effect on the following question because I don't think that question will be valid given the fact that this doesn't fall, the Capital Theatre doesn't fall under the jurisdiction of the Gauteng province. Thank you very much.
Honorable Alberts, even the next question, it must be introduced properly and must be responded to properly. Can we therefore go to the next question, Honorable Alberts, to MEC for Infrastructure Development?
Madam Chair, Speaker, I will do so. With reference to the Capital Theatre in Church Square in Pretoria, can MEC indicate, 1, will the MEC allocate funding to restore the theatre for use by artists in Pretoria? And if so, please provide timelines. 2, if no, please explain comprehensively. 3, is the building a heritage building? If yes, will the department comply with its obligations in terms of the National Heritage Resources Act 25 of 1999 and restore the theatre? And last question, 4, if no, will the department in any event restore the theatre for use by artists? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable MEC.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to Member Alberts for the question. Unfortunately, the theatre, as indicated, does not fall under the jurisdiction of Gauteng Provincial Government, nor under the mandate of the Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we are now on item which is written questions for oral and explanation. MECs, you don't have to respond to the questions, but explain why the questions were received late. Most of them were received, and I think even in the last sitting, I indicated that some of the officials, they send responses around 4:50 a.m. Our officials, remember, they have families. They are also subjected to the Labour Relations Act. So if you respond, especially when the questions are late, and you respond at 5 a.m. on the day of the sitting, it's not acceptable. Can I therefore request that MEC for Community Safety, there are questions that were responded to, but they were responded to after the 3 p.m. deadline, which is a day before the sitting. Can you therefore respond why your questions were submitted at 8 p.m. last night? MEC Community Safety.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and truly apologize. We realized that they were still sitting in the inbox when we thought they actually had been sent to Abu Ralph at the proceedings. So it's only when we double checked we then realized that we did not necessarily send way to your outbox. As I have this further. I truly apologize, Madam Speaker. We'll make sure next time that once we send, we double check and make sure that we've got network properly. Challenges of sometimes being in areas where we don't have network, they result in that, Madam Speaker.
No, MEC, we had a workshop with all the PLOs, and we explained what needs to happen in the event the PLO finds that there is a problem. There is a process that has been set in motion. So some of the officials are not telling the truth. Can you please play an oversight on your officials, because our officials will look bad when really it is not us. I mean, if you send a document, it's in the inbox, it's your responsibility to check that it is out of the box. So next time, MEC, please tell your officials not to do that or not to give a false explanation. Then we have questions from COGTA, which were submitted also after the deadline. Can I therefore request the MEC to respond why the questions were responded? Honourable Deputy Speaker, I know that she's around the building. You have muted yourself. Can you unmute? DS, we can't hear you. We are muted, DS.
She's still muted.
Oral Mukabo, you are disturbing the system. You are disturbing the waves, the sound waves. You know, those that have done science will tell you that we are disturbing. The sound waves are a problem. But the DS is on the line. Can we assist her to unmute? Can I request all members who can't hear us to log out and log in again, because that is a problem again. People can't hear us. Many members are complaining.
We can hear you now, Speaker.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Deputy Speaker, can you unmute yourself? It's not the system, but it's the gadget of some of the members.
Speaker?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Okay, I request, good morning, Speaker and colleagues in the House. Allow me to unvideorize myself, Speaker.
We are audible, Deputy Speaker.
Okay. Speaker, thank you. I want to present on behalf of the committee the adopted report on the process for the nomination of the IC for GPL. The chairperson of the ad hoc committee on the appointment of the Integrity Commissioner of Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Honorable N.M. Hlagaza Manamela, hereby presents the report of the ad hoc committee on the process undertaken in the recruitment and recommendation of the Integrity Commissioner. The Gauteng Provincial Legislature has a standing rule which governs the business of the institution and a part of the legislature's internal arrangements. The rules regulate, amongst others, the conduct of members through the Code of Conduct and Ethics. The Code of Conduct and Ethics for members provide for the appointment of the Integrity Commissioner, and the Integrity Commissioner is the custodian and responsible for the implementation of the Code of Conduct and Ethics for the members of the provincial legislature. The term of the office of the current incumbent, Dr. Ralph Khatebe Gijima, Integrity Commissioner for GPL, expired on the 30th of March 2022. In line with the GPL standing rules, the Speaker established a multi-party ad hoc committee with a mandate to process the recruitment, selection, and recommendation of the Integrity Commissioner to the legislature. So the roles and responsibilities of the Integrity Commissioner are as follows in brief. In terms of the standing rules, the Integrity Commissioner is responsible for, amongst others, the following: implementation of the Code of Conduct and Ethics to ensure public confidence in the legislature, with respect to upholding integrity by public representatives. Provide support to the Privileges and Ethics Committee by investigating cases of the breach of code and submit reports with recommendations to the committee. 3, the committee considers the Integrity Commissioner report and table it to the House for adoption. The process followed, Speaker, is as follows. It goes thus. The Speaker announced the establishment of the ad hoc committee and published its composition
mandate and duration of the ATC on the 14th of December 2021. The Speaker, Honorable Mehwe, appointed Honorable N.M. Mhlakaza to be the chairperson, Mhlakaza Manamela, to be the chairperson of the ad hoc committee. The notice calling for the nominations was published in print and electronic media, inviting members of the public and organizations to nominate with a motivation letter and CVs. Nominees for the position of the Integrity Commissioner. The nomination period commenced on the 4th of February 2022 and closed on the 17th February 2022. The ad hoc committee met on the 8th of February 2022 to receive a full briefing on its mandate and further discuss the processing of the nomination. During its deliberations, the ad hoc committee addressed the process of pre-screening, shortlisting, as well as the approach to be employed for the interviews. On the 24th of February 2022, the ad hoc committee met to conduct shortlisting. The candidates that met the qualifying criteria is outlined on the notice. In this meeting, the ad hoc committee noted that 26 nominations for the candidacy of the Integrity Commissioner were received. 7 candidates were selected to be part of pre-screening and possible interviews. The following 7 candidates shortlisted by the committee are as follows: Mr. Kevin Malunga, Ms. Shireen Said, Mr. Abraham Tanza, Ms. Mutlajo Rali Fatane, Mr. Temba Chetwa, Mr. Michael Silwane, and Ms. Kuku Mashiko. The ad hoc committee met on the 3rd of March 2022 to receive a report on the vetting of the candidates, 7 of them. However, the vetting process was incomplete, and the ad hoc committee mandated the administration to complete the process prior to confirming the candidates for interviews. Furthermore, the ad hoc committee received another report on the 9th of March 2022 on the vetting of the 7 candidates. The outcome of the vetting process for the 7 candidates was favorable when in all had no criminal records. South African citizenship was confirmed and academic qualifications was positively verified as submitted. Therefore, the committee was satisfied that all the 7 candidates are eligible for being interviewed for the position of the Integrity Commissioner. So on the 16th of March, committee convened to finalize the guide for the interview, and the 7 candidates were interviewed. So the deliberation, Speaker, and recommendation by the committee on the interview process is: interviews for the appointment of the commissioner were conducted by the following members: Honorable Mhlakaza Manamela, Honorable Ghana, Honorable Chitangano, Honorable Alberts, Honorable Hassan, and Honorable Kanyile. Post the interviews, the ad hoc committee deliberations wherein the number of candidates for possible recommendation were narrowed down to 4 and subsequently to 3. There were further deliberations on the 3 remaining candidates, namely Mr. Kevin Malunga, Mr. Temba Mtetwa, and Ms. Kukuma Shiko. The ad hoc committee, through a majority of its members, resolved that Ms. Kukuma Shiko be recommended to the House for appointment as the Integrity Commissioner. Acknowledgement, Madam Speaker, appreciation goes and is expressed to all members of the committee for their commitment that they showed during the deliberations of the nomination and appointment of the Integrity Commissioner for GPL. Special gratitude goes to Honorable Ghana, Honorable Chitangano, Honorable Alberts, Honorable Adams, Honorable Hassan, Honorable Lamini, and Honorable Kamile. Appreciation, Speaker, further goes to support staff that supported the ad hoc committee for their continuous devoted assistance during this process. Lastly, Madam Speaker, going to the adoption of the ad hoc committee report, after due consideration, the ad hoc committee of the nomination and the appointment of the Integrity Commissioner for GPL adopted the report on the appointment of Integrity Commissioner for the Gauteng Provincial Legislature for consideration by the House. Therefore, in terms of Rule 1172C, read together with Rule 279(2)(3) of the Standing Rules, the committee presents to this House and recommends the adoption of the ad hoc committee report on the nomination and appointment of the Integrity Commissioner for GPL. Thank you very much, Speaker. I, N.M. Mhlakaza, on behalf of the ad hoc committee chair, on behalf of the ad hoc committee. Names as mentioned earlier. Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's where it stops. That's where my report ends.
Thank you, Chair. Is there a seconder to the report?
I rise to second, Honourable Speaker.
Report is seconded. I now put the question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All those not in favour say no.
No.
The ayes have it. The report is adopted
Aye.
by the House. But in terms of this report, because you
Let's check
need,
numbers. It has been adopted. Let's check numbers.
in terms of this report, because you need to determine the two-thirds majority, we are going to be doing the roll call, and I will therefore request that we took down the mace and we allow a, yeah.
I hope we no longer have a problem of sound challenge.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Sesivalile iminyango. I'm not sure. I see the hand of Honorable Hassan. Honorable Hassan, why are you raising your hand now?
Apologies, Chair. I thought that was how we were going to be counting the voting, but I can
Okay.
put it down.
No, I'm going to explain the procedure now. Colleagues, what we are going to do now, can I request, Honorable Kacheni, please, or Honorable Ndovu for now, Ukacheni. What we are going to do, colleagues, we are aware that, for example, I know that Honorable Nelu indicated that there are members that are having a problem, but we also know other colleagues are already sending me information on the line. We'll consider that when we call your name, please indicate. But if you don't have, and if we call your name and we don't have a WhatsApp or SMS, or even raise a hand like Honorable Hassan was already up front, we'll take you as if we have not voted. Is it clear, colleagues? Because we have picked up that today some members are having a challenge. So we are going to start now. We're going to call names of colleagues, and please indicate whether you're in support or not support. Thank you very much. Can you read the names?
Thank you, Speaker. The first name, MD Makura. MD Makura. A. Lusufi.
Agreed.
M.E. Kumalo.
I agree with the report.
M.E. Kumalo.
I agree with the report.
N.E. Mukherjee.
Support.
N. Nkomo Ralihuko.
Agreed.
L.I. Maile.
Agreed.
P.J. Mamabulo.
Agreed. Fully supported.
N.M. Hlagaza Manamela. N.M. Hlagaza Manamela. A.W.M.K. Musupia.
Agreed.
M.D. Shope.
Agreed.
MPF Dow.
Agreed.
NF Mazibugo.
Diavuma.
T. Mutara.
You are aware that Honorable Mutara was one of those that had a problem, but we have received a WhatsApp.
E.S. Malobane.
Agreed. I hope I'm audible. Agreed.
M.J. Kanyane.
Agreed.
T.E. Magagula.
Agreed.
B.P. Ngube.
Yebo.
M.G. Mudise.
Yavuma.
G.D. Skinman.
Agreed.
W.M. Matseke.
Agreed.
J. Mpisi.
Agreed.
B.E.W. Masuku.
Agreed.
M.K. Chilwane. R.J. Kekana.
Agreed.
P.B. Mabunda.
Agreed.
KP Diale Tlavela,
Agreed.
DP Malema,
Agreed.
DC Lidwaba,
Agreed.
F Hassan,
Agreed.
MR Paladi Di Ramela, T Ndlovu, BE Litswalo,
Agreed.
S Kanyile,
Agreed.
SM Litzie,
Agreed.
LE Makubela,
Agreed.
AA Ndlovana,
Agreed.
ST Msimanga,
No.
JB Bloom,
No.
IE Mukwebo,
Agreed.
ADW Albert,
No, don't agree.
ADW Albert,
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I don't agree.
DK Adams,
Agreed.
BW Dlamini,
Agreed.
AJ Fuchs,
No.
BA Engelbrecht,
Do not support, Chair.
NS Duplessis,
Do not support.
R Nzeke,
No, don't support.
N Ramulifo,
No. Don't support.
BF Bedenhorst,
No.
K Tong,
Agreed.
RB Mnisi, absent. MF Lidwaba,
Agreed.
CW Mabala,
Agreed.
R Robinson,
Do not support.
R Robinson,
I do not support, Chair.
WD Peach,
No, do not support.
AM Rendell,
No.
EP Duplessis,
No.
AW Celius,
No, I don't support.
FP Nell,
No.
JJ Hoffman,
Nia.
A Dilanga, A Dilanga, KC Mazwai, KC Mazwai, MR Mufama,
Ngiyavuma.
AG Chitangano,
Agreed.
ND Radebe,
Agreed.
MS Goma, MS Goma, MH Sirota,
No.
MS Chabalala,
No.
C Bosch,
No.
SJP Dos Santos,
No.
NM Dijega,
No.
PG Atkinson,
No. Do not support.
PG Atkinson,
No. Do not support. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
He's responded. Honorable colleagues, maybe before we respond, remember there's no rule that says I can't vote. Therefore, I'm casting my vote for the yes. Okay. Let's say you're 116.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on Rule 106 sub 1, just to declare that the DA has voted against this item because we believe that this candidate does not qualify in terms of Rule 2781 of the Standing Orders of Gauteng Legislature, as this person has been an ANC MP before, and therefore we don't believe that she would be impartial and independent. Thank you.
Well, colleagues, let us not be opportunistic. Colleagues, let's not be opportunistic in raising rules or even explanations that are not applicable. All what you needed in this position is the qualifications and nothing else. The qualifications, all 7 candidates, as per the report, do qualify. Let me therefore, let's reconcile our figures first, then I will announce. Yeah. Let's reconcile. Let's. Colleagues, let's announce the results. No responses is 3, because there's no WhatsApp, there's no whatever message. Those that voted against is 22. Those that voted yes, it's 48. So in terms of the two-thirds majority, we needed only 48 members to vote. Therefore, the report is adopted by the House.
Another, congratulations.
Can I therefore ask can I request that the whips must come and sign? Thank you, colleagues. That concludes the business for the day. Our next sitting will be on Thursday, the 15th of September, 2022 at 10 hours sharp. The House is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon.